At this time, if we could all stand and say the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on, thank everybody for making it out tonight and making it to our little cozy little old boardroom, I guess you'd say. This time we need to amend and or accept tonight's agenda. And I would like to make one amendment. I would like to move action items E and F to the end. We will briefly go into closed session to discuss our emergency operating procedures, and then we'll come out and we will vote on it. So we will do that. Anybody else have any other amendments?
Make a motion, we accept the amended agenda.
Support. Okay, we have a motion and support to accept tonight's agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. At this time, it is time for public comment. If there's anybody here that would like to speak on anything, if you want to, just please state your name and why you're here. Okay, hearing none, we will move on to routine matters. Assume everybody had time to look at our previous month's minutes. Is there any corrections that need to be made?
Make a motion, we approve them.
Motion?
Support.
We have motion and support to approve November's minutes. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Treasurer's report.
Yeah, as of the beginning balance of December, we had a total of $1,532,734.67.
Motion that the financial report be accepted.
Support. Okay, we have motion and support to accept the treasurer's report. Is there any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thanks, Scott. Consider general fund invoices for payment.
I would like to make a motion to pay checks from the general fund, checks 16288 through 16299, and checks 72811 through 72914, for a total of $768,999.40. From food services, checks 161197 through 161228, for $209,676.71.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion with support for general fund payment. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Reports and communications. I'd just like to report on a couple things. Last week there, we had the dedication for our preschool over there, and that was went off really well. That was just a really good time, and got to thank Mr. Alabas for his contribution, and yeah, I had the whole staff there, and it was hour or two, whatever we spent there was very nice. And then last week, Wednesday, we had a little gathering there Wednesday night for Howard and his departure, and thanked him for his due diligence on 14 months of filling in as a interim superintendent, and that was a good time as well. And also just winter sports is up and running. National Honor Society got to go on their Chicago trip this weekend, and something that hasn't happened in a little while, and that was, I think the kids, from what I can gather, were excited and had a really good time, so that's,
Everything I saw on Facebook.
that's just good, all good stuff, so. That's all I got. I think superintendent has a brief.
Yeah, any questions for my superintendent's report? Gonna kind of try to do things a little bit differently as far as my reporting. A lot of my report is in a lot of the motions that we review and discussion. So I'm gonna kind of keep this brief, and then other items will be brought up during discussion. The one thing I would just like to show you real quick, and this also is in the discussion, but I think it's more appropriate to show here, is our ESSER 3 survey for McBain schools. We sent this out, and we had 252 responses, which is what I was very pleased with the response rate. Your elementary parents led the way, which they typically do. But your high school did very well, and middle school participated as well. We also had community members, I'm assuming, with the other and none of the above category. As you put surveys together like that, you learn different things. Like I probably should have combined other and none of the above, right? But we had nice responses of our population with English language learners, homeless, foster care, special education, 504 plans, free and reduced, advanced placement dual enrollments, Title I interventions, career and technical CTC kids, and then none of the above. So it's a good splattering of what our district looks like. Very pleased with that. And, you know, our top 5 items that stood out were delivering interventions for our struggling students was our top one, followed by providing social and emotional learning, social and emotional supports. We've seen that continue to be a need, especially during the pandemic. It's just, we've always known it was there, it's just kind of been pushed to the forefront of what we need. Implement key components of instruction, as then technology, as well as facilities, cleaner indoor air quality, and just be able to make more space. Had some nice comments on there, all went right along with the top 5 there. A lot of small group instructions, interventions, as well as summer school, and social emotional learning seem to be the standouts in that. So it was a good response. I was pleased with that. And then the ESSER 3 budget we'll talk about later in the minutes, so, or in the action items.
Scott, on the athletic practices, is that just is that a new policy, or is that just kind of putting down what we already do, or?
Yeah, I think it's
Kind of a combination, or?
I think it's a combination.
Okay.
But we're gonna revisit that every day. Like Monday, we did have practices when we had the snow days. We probably shouldn't have.
Okay.
Just needs to be revisited. Tuesday afternoon was fine. It was the
Yeah.
morning that was the issue. So it's just kind of putting it in writing that this
Okay.
is what we're gonna do. Coaches know that we're gonna make a decision by 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, that's good.
And no matter what, it's an optional practice on those
Mhm.
days.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
Mhm.
Principals. David, would you like to start?
Sure, I'd be glad to. I don't have much to add to my board report, just because it's been Well, it's been crazy because it's Christmas and it's December and the elementary is just hopping with energy. If you need to pick me up, you come any day. You will get hugged and loved on, and it's Christmas and candy and rainbows and all kinds of wonderful things. No, my update doesn't mention the concerts that we did have last week. They went very, very well. Kudos to Mrs. Wiggins. She did the 5th 8 band concert, and then she added the high school to it with the snow day, and then Thursday evening we had the K2 concert. Both went really, really well. Very well attended. I had lots of compliments about, so glad we're having this again, so glad we're doing it in the auditorium, so glad to be here. So it was a really good experience overall. And the kids did a really good job. I know probably most of you were there. I think that's the only thing to add. We're just trying to finish out the year strong. We've got Christmas parties on Thursday, our sing-along on Friday, and then a very much needed and deserved 2-week break. So, do you have any questions for me?
Thanks, David. Ryan?
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
End of the semester here, we got exams going, as you all probably know. Our hallways even today were buzzing of everyone just being nervous about exams. You know, it's like this 4-letter word that continues to hang over their head until they have the confidence to go in there and just perform. So we had some kids today that we worked with on that front. So, but lots of kids in my board report here to give notice and credit to some accolades for our fall sports kids are in there. Really just so proud of Gabby and Annalise and the volleyball being noted there, and also Mac in football for the All-States. And that's really, really such a good, proud thing for us to continue. And Tyler Cucci, a great kid, he was co-op student of the month for applied construction. And then our sophomores that did CTC, that was pretty cool, got to see them. What was interesting is how serious they take, they're not serious sophomores, but it's interesting how seriously they really did take it, because they did not get, I believe, their 8th grade visit over there. So this was really the first time that they were able to look through all the programs, and the number of programs that our CTC is willing to offer is unbelievable, and lots of hands-on experiences for the kids. It was just really good, and kids started talking. As they talk about what they're feeling, what they're interested in, and things like that. So Mrs. Potts, I checked with her today, and the overwhelming notion of many that would like to participate in the CTC program. There's a lot of our sophomores interested. So a couple of additions that I didn't include here, and I wanted to make sure to notice. Our freshman focus classes, they did a great job of collecting returnables. Cans and whatnot, and work with McDowell's. They were nice enough to let us bag them and number them. They took them away for us, but they earned over $450 doing that in the last month. And they are taking care of a family, a single mom and 3 kids, noted by Oasis in Cadillac, and they were able to give them a full Christmas with gifts and things. And so, just again, freshman focus, talking more about not just them. As we're talking about giving back and the whole idea of service and service-oriented. Mr. Kors and Mr. Niebuhr, they did a good job with that. So I'd forgotten to put that on there, but they had told me that they did that. And also Hope's Closet, the Giving Trees. I don't know if you've been down there last Friday. There are basketball games in the lobby area before the gym. Mrs. Utek had an idea, to hang ornaments with certain particular items for Hope's Closet that we've been requested by kids or parents or whatever, and it's just a really nice display. And I want to specifically note Kata Cotter, Kyla Boomstra, and Caleb Campos, who came in on their own on a Sunday afternoon with Mrs. Utek to help set that up. So our kids were a part of that and continue to do that. So I just wanted to add those 2 things.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
The middle school principal, Mr. Mead, was not able to attend, but he did submit his report in our packet, so.
And no news is good news for the Chicago trip, by the way, so.
Right.
Right.
True.
True.
Very true. Okay, moving on to our action items. Action item A. Approve Neola policies 36-1. Neola policies, PO 0100, definitions. PO 0167.3, public participation at board meetings. PO 3120, employment of professional staff. PO 6114, costs, principals, spending federal funds. PO 6152, student fees, fines, and supplies. PO 7450, property inventory. PO 8310, public records. PO 8320, personnel files. PO 8330, student records.
Motion.
We have a motion
Support.
with support. Is there any further discussion on the Neola policies? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Action item B, accept the resignation of Tina Southwick. She submitted her retirement letter there, I'm assuming we all read it.
Mhm.
Make a motion, we accept the resignation.
Motion?
Support.
We have a motion and support, is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Action item C, accept letter of recommendation to hire Teresa Russell. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Support.
Motion and support. Any further discussion or?
Is that a replacement for Tina then, I'm assuming?
what is she?
that-
I am drawing a blank on that. Do you guys know Teresa Russell? Yeah. I'm wondering if it's, I'm looking for the letter of recommendation.
Yeah, I
right
was
now.
kinda looking here too, I'm like.
I don't recall seeing one. Yeah.
I don't even know.
No,
There was
it's
just
not in
a
mine.
resignation.
She may be for the preschool. I know that they had a couple people quit,
Oh, yeah,
resign.
that's right.
So it might be for the preschool, new to the area. But if you'd like, we could table that until I have more information. That kind of just caught me off guard, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that name's not familiar to me, so.
Give me just a
I got to assume it's for a legitimate position.
Right,
Yeah.
for sure. Right?
I think it's safe to assume that.
Yeah.
I just assumed it maybe was a replacement for the gal who just
Is
resigned.
she a full-time bus driver now? She's a sub bus
Oh.
driver?
She might be, yeah. She might be taking Agama's position. I'm checking right now. I know we just like offered a position for preschool to replace, but
Mm.
I think we move ahead, just let us know maybe.
okay. I'll do that.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Action item D, transfer $280,692 from the general fund to capital projects fund.
Make a motion to approve the transfer.
Support.
Motion and support, any further discussion? Scott, maybe you can.
Yeah, this was just remaining funds from last year that we had in the black at the end of the school year. Just transferring that over to capital projects and getting it out of general fund. It is something that we can transfer back to general fund, if need be, for general fund uses as well. But this would just kind of just move it over to capital projects for us.
Am I right that there's about 230 in there now, somewhere in that range?
I believe maybe a little bit more.
In that
Yeah.
range, yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
And this would be unrestricted, you said?
This would be, well, it's capital projects, but we can move it back.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yep, transfer it back. This is just the surplus that we had.
Mhm.
We talked about doing this at the,
Right.
when they did the audit,
Oh,
and then I
yep,
just had
yep.
forgotten to put it on the agenda, so.
Okay, motion support, All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we are going to skip over E and F, and we are going to go to action item G. Approve Tim O'Malley's contract for January 1 through June 30. This will be 2022.
Motion?
Support.
Motion and support. Any further discussion?
I assume that's coaching.
This is special education.
Oh, yeah.
He is helping us out. He's retired, but he's coming back and helping with a caseload.
Yep.
This past semester, he was working 4 hours. He's able to meet the obligations for 2 hours, so we were able to adjust the salary down a little bit. But the next semester is also 4 weeks longer. So we maintained that. But Mr. Malley's done a nice job for us, and we'll continue to do so.
This has a coaching component too, according to
He,
Dennis.
yep, he already has coaching,
He
so
will
we
have
have,
those already.
yeah, we already have that contract,
Yeah.
so he can track what he makes for retirement.
Okay.
But he was already hired as the coach.
Mhm,
This is
yeah.
just hiring for the 2 hours.
Separate.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Action item H. Approve Professional Development Committee. Sarah McLean, elementary. Hope Westdorf, elementary. Alan Thomas, parent. Kelly O'Keefe, middle school. Daniela Ferdine, middle school. Sarah Gray, high school. Andrea Podsed, high school. Maria Bivens, English language learners. Support staff, Kim Schoner. Special education, Ross Breeze. Elementary principal, David Wisner. Middle school principal, Marcus Mead. High school principal, Ryan Biller. Director of accountability, Becky Rodenbaugh. Superintendent, Scotty. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Support.
Motion and support.
Oh,
Is there any questions or?
This is different than school improvement,
This
correct?
is.
Okay, this is different than that, okay.
Mhm. So this is just gonna kind of, I can see it morphing into a school improvement or a district improvement team, but this is more to steer
Just
towards
professional
professional development. This also is like it was a pre-COVID thing that the MDE was wanting districts to do, and it kind of disappeared. But this will also allow us to not only plan professionally, but we may be able to use some of that professional development hours as instructional time. So if we do have a bunch of snow days, we're able to potentially use this time to help with that, so. And it's always good to have a committee to help plan professional development.
Mhm.
Covers support staff, counselors. They see things that we don't see, and know the things that they need that we may not necessarily know, so.
Okay, we have motion and support. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Action item I. Approve middle school and high school wrestling club.
Motion.
Motion,
Support.
and we have support. Do we have any discussion or questions that?
Who's gonna be the coach of
Well,
this?
the gentleman behind me, Adam Corliss, is the guy that has coordinated this. I think we had a conversation.
I'm getting it going.
Okay.
I've had lots of people reach out about wanting to help. I know nothing about wrestling. I know there's a lot of kids that have nothing to do in the winter. You know, and I know I'm all about football, and I know it'll improve football. You know, and seeing some of the kids that I've coached now not have something to do in the winter, it worries me about not seeing them in the spring, in the fall again. You know, if they don't have something to do, it makes it harder for them to get back out there and go. I've had lots of people, you know, Matt Doolittle was offered to help. He's coached on and off for 20 years. He was actually Ferris's last All-American. And a few other people from outside that are willing to help you get it going. It's kind of, they want us to get it going because it's soon gonna be a conference sport. And through the school, we would be taking zeros in sports that we can get points for at the end of the year. So if it's the Title IX, it's, you know, I think it would be beneficial for everybody.
So a club sport versus a sport, where does that fall within, school liability, insurance, student insurance, all that kind of stuff?
That's a good question, Ken.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't have the answer to that.
Okay.
I know that, I would think that it would typically fall under a set site policy, but I will look into it.
Okay.
But it's also separate from the school, so the school doesn't have any costs
So just kind of wondering about
associated
that.
with it.
So we also have the ski team, that's a club sport too, right?
No, I believe that
Is
is
that
a co-op.
That's a co-op, so that's just,
Oh.
that's a sport, so this might be the only club team we have.
Correct. Mr. Cross has done a really nice job. He's already secured mats, which I thought was gonna be the hiccup on this, but
Mhm.
I think Sean said that there was 14 that made it to the meetings that were interested, high school and middle school. So we're excited about it and anxious to see how it goes. But I'll get back to you on the
Yeah, we're
insurance
interested in
question.
knowing that. Thank you.
Okay, we have motion with support. Any more discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Action item J, approve January 2nd usage of multi-use room.
Yeah, this is for an employee wanting to do a family gathering. It's on a Sunday, so it has to be board approved.
I think this has been an ongoing.
I believe so too.
Do I have a motion?
Yep.
Motion.
Support.
Motion and support. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Action item K, approve ESER 3 spending.
So, do we have a motion first? I don't know that.
Do I have a motion? Do we have a motion? Do I have support?
Support.
Motion and support. I think Scott's gonna touch briefly on this.
I give you all a printout of the spending that we would be looking at for the ESER 3 funds. It goes from window replacement, MacBook purchases and iPad purchases. We kind of approved that last board meeting for that, to keep that going. Our tech deck creation, creating more space for our tech deck, but not only for our employees of the tech deck, but students and staff to go in and be able to get the help that they need. The Director of Accountability, which we already kind of approved at the last board meeting. This is the interesting one, is 2 social workers. You see I have it broken down for 22-23 and 23-24. So I've applied for another grant, an additional grant, which is 31-0 monies, which the first year, this year, would pay 100% of the salaries, even back. We have to have them hired by March 1st. So they'll pay 100% of their salaries. Second year, they'll pay 66%. Third year will pay 33%. The district must maintain for its 4th year. I wanted to write 3 in. I was really concerned about that legacy cost for that 4th year. But this is a way that we can get a bigger bang for our bucks by coordinating with another grant. We will not know if we get the grant and the allocation until after we hire the individuals, of course, right? That's how legislation is written.
Of course it is.
Trust us.
In talking with the Department of Education, there's $120 million allocated for that. The people that have applied for it, the amount of salaries is only $73 million. So if we don't get it all, which it sounds right now we will, we would get just kind of a prorated rate, but it's still gonna benefit our kids. So then you see the remaining cost of the social workers for that, as well as after-school tutoring monies in there. We also have a third of the budget that we have not received yet, of the funding that we will have to budget for later. Please know that this all can be amended. Our application is due December 15th. But this all can be amended. For example, if I can't find 2 licensed social workers, we're gonna have to find ways to spend it, we can amend that money for that.
Okay.
So. And it meets all 5 of our categories of the top 5.
Okay, we have a motion and we have support. Is there any further discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. very good. Action item L. Approved PA system for the gymnasium.